Go ahead.
Fish.
Oh, okay. So
Collective lasers.
got you. So then today's would have started on. Got you. Okay.
So for those of us who are on the west side of the international date line, I'd like to wish all the dads out there a happy Father's Day. And the dads here on the ship a happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. We all appreciate that. We've left our children at home and families at home so that we can come out here and explore these
following
steps.
the local high as long as it's
share this adventure with the world. So.
Yeah. I think you're close to the top anyway.
Oh, there's another one of those little fish.
Kind of like.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Eating? Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if we could zoom in on that little fish.
We could try. He's moving a bit.
I need to rotate to get the screen.
So Chris, if you wait another couple seconds, you should have a fairly decent zoom on it. It's about 10 centimeters, just under.
Rotating to keep you in.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the currents.
Look at how the fins are iridescent.
I know.
I'm guessing the current's going to start picking up again from an unknown direction.
That I can remember. I
believe that.
I guess yesterday it went from west to east, and today it was west, so I guess we can assume it's going to start coming from the east based on that.
And it's named after the Mauna Loa volcano in Hawaii, where it erupted, and a lot of these fish floated to the surface dead after it erupted, and it was named for that volcano.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah. But this one's still alive.
Oh. Do you see it? Up right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right in the center.
Take a snap zoom on it. See several of them.
Oh, that's different.
Now, could this be a juvenile analopsamia?
Are there polyps that big?
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be, Shirley. I'm not sure what it is.
I'm starting to get over you.
Scleractinium, sure.
It's very pretty.
There's a noticeable difference in the geology at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have Patty talk about that when we come back from lunch.
Yep. It's lunchtime here on the ship, so she's taking her lunch.
At the ROV in the local
Just
high.
like we found a shark while you were gone.
Move you to it. Just as the ridge winds around, you've become offset a bit. Okay.
Oh. Okay. It looks like it drops off right behind there.
So, Chris, in this area, when we're within depth ranges for precious corals, it seems that we've had quite a few sponges as the dominant fauna here. Is that usual? Are precious corals usually few and far between, or are these sort of anomalies?
So we could move him there 20 meters. Actually, yeah, because right now he's looking southeast, and our general moves want to be more southwest. So I think we should get him back on the ridge. So I'll do.
So
like
I don't know why we aren't seeing more
20 meters.
precious corals. We didn't see that many on the first leg either. Maybe the terrain is just too new.
We're going to get right
Or
up
too active, but it's very odd.
It's just all easier if you're centered.
Yeah,
I mean, there clearly were here at some point, quite a few.
150.
It's just
how about
a lot of them are dead now.
Okay.
There were corals at
Can you
least.
look at that branching thing next to the large sponge, just at least a snapshot, see if it's a coral of interest. Yes.
Bridge, Nav.
Yeah, so these,
Look at
these
a
are
ship
corals.
move
These aren't
20 meters,
precious corals.
bearing
They're not
150 degrees
precious
at
corals.
0.2 knots.
I'm thinking more of the red and the pink corals in the family chorality, and we're just not seeing them for some reason.
Oh, thanks, Chris. Oh, there's a basket
Oh,
star.
yeah.
Star.
Beautiful basket star.
Pretending to be a coral.
First one of the expedition.
That looks similar to the one that's in the freezer right now.
Yes, please. So we're going to get a closer look at that.
Copy that, Bridge. All right, that should move Sirius right on this, on top of this local high, and then we can figure out which direction to go from there.
Also possible another one of those large snails to the right of the laser.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Oh, what a beautiful critter.
You had a brief
Oh, wow.
break. Luckily, you're
Just
passing
look at
on to
this.
Jeff now. As a courtesy, we can try to figure out which way it's coming from.
Basket stars are always so pretty.
This one doesn't have as many
That's what it's supposed
commensals
to do.
on it.
We got a big
Other
fish right to
creatures
your-
that
oh, there he goes.
are using
He's right
it as a
behind you.
base for
There's
getting
two of
up
them, I think.
into the water column, as some other basket stars
See when
we've
you're at
seen.
the camera.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I must have missed those ones. That's really cool.
On actually not on this type, but on leg one. Boy, we found an area that had basket stars that were just covered with brittle stars.
Oh, wow.
Not just brittle stars, but other things too.
Wow.
I think we're okay with the one.
Big old sponge just to the left.
And those look like maybe some hydroids coming off of it as well.
Yeah.
Science, I don't know if you're interested, but the snail that we, or whatever you call it, we got earlier with a nice red shell is coming in screen on the right. There's a second.
There's another one of those snails. Yeah, thank you, pilot. Just noticed that snail. We should probably take a quick look at that if we can.
Going full wide and changing video. Full wide, changing video.
So, Patty, while you were out, we had what looked like quite a dramatic change in the geology.
Oh,
We're kind of up
change
more.
is good.
Well, we didn't know. It was just just Shirley and I, so we didn't know how to talk about it. So it looks a little different than it did, and looks less consolidated and less like the big boulders that we were seeing before.
Boy, you're right. Yeah, that's true. We are
so
at
We could figure out
347
the next
meters. Let me
direction and then
think.
advise the next people
In the
maybe.
in the eruption in 1981, it was a lateral blast that went north, and so generally in this direction.
Well, there's no more local high after this.
These rocks that we're looking at since I just popped in after having had lunch, at the moment we don't have a close enough view to be able to tell whether these are good pillow fragments or whether they might be, some of the material might be explosive ejecta, or just big, what we call bombs that the volcanoes spit out.
I don't know if we're
Interesting.
Carl says that
It actually kind of looks like these are not that, but we can maybe make a better guess as we get a good view of
I think
these.
you should probably just move just a little bit forward.
Well, they certainly don't look like they're real young. Oh, there's a different gastropod below this one too, I think.
So we have a tentative
behind
ID on the snail. Looks like Chong Chen from Jams
Might get
Tech
stuck in current,
says
though,
that
push
that's
backwards.
likely a, oh dear, I can't pronounce that. Paratrochus? Paratrochus?
Might as well hop
Now
up there a
where-
little bit.
Species
that?
similar perhaps, but it's potential. It may be new.
Where?
It's right here. So Diva, are you on the telecon line?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, Petro.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it is. Thank you very much, pilot. No problem. Well, thank you, pilot, very much, and I hope you have a lovely lunch. And welcome to our new pilot. We're doing a shift change out here on the ship.
Okay, hey guys,
Like,
it's Diva.
hi.
Hi, Diva. Thank you for
Hello.
calling in and hopefully correcting my terrible pronunciation.
No, so the second time you were on it. So I
Yes.
messaged Tong Chen on Twitter, who is a mollusk expert who works for Japan, and he said that he said, wow, that's a paratrochus, similar to Paratrochus
Fish on the right-hand
paladonicus,
side of that thing,
but he
but
said
don't
it's
know.
probably not. He said it's definitely not that species, similar to that species. And he said it's
Give it
probably
to the
new.
others.
And then about 5 minutes later, he sent me another message that said it's a very similar genus to one called Mycodotrochus, but it generally has, but that genus generally has a thicker shell, and it's hard to be 100% sure without a specimen, of course. But he was really excited, and so he's emailed the expert on such shells, Patrick Amstew, to get another ID, another
Yeah, you had a big
sort of,
fish
I
ramming
guess,
you
guess
earlier.
as to what this is, because of
Running
course
into
it's always
you.
a guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think that's a little helpful. But
Oh.
these are amazing and always beautiful to see. And both Deb and I sort of agreed that the one we saw on leg one was sort of more white, whereas this one, the shell seems to be a little bit higher and colors are a bit different. So really exciting anyway.
Oh, thanks so much. That's great. It's always nice to be able to call out to
That's
some of the
been great.
experts
Keep
on
going.
shore.
So one of the nice things about telepresence is that we don't have to rely on the scientist on the ship for the sole amount of information that we collect. As we're exploring, we have a whole network of scientists who are participating on shore, and several of them are working with people outside of the group, and they use their professional networks to help figure out exactly what it is that we're looking at, which is wonderful. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off of the scientist on the
first I
ship
would
to
rotate to,
figure out
like,
exactly what
220.
something is.
So I don't even have to explain that to the next nav, why we're
All right.
faced the wrong way.
Sure. So 220 is the direction of the ridge?
Roughly in high pack, yeah.
Okay.
So as one of the scientists on the ship, this is Patty Fryer, University of Hawaii. I'm a research professor there and a marine geologist. And so folks were asking about the nature of the rocks that we're looking at. I think these are little pillow mounds and composed of pillow lavas, that is. You can see some little blocks down on the lower, sort of middle, but slightly to the left, excuse me, to the right
Jeff?
of middle, blocks of pillow fragments. Hello.
So we'll do our intros once Levi sits in.
Yeah, you betcha. Well, why don't I get up and start to go down this little feature. And you're pointed now the direction.
Just about. Carl says 220, according to high pack.
Right.
Which, yeah, you can see it. Slope becoming shallower.
So we're getting repositioned here, and we're going to be moving up slope as soon as the pilot and navigator are all set up in their positions.
Okay.
Come down a bit more.
And I see, is this real time? What I see a little bit further back is a shark. Right there.
Yeah, so we saw a shark when, while you were at lunch, we saw a shark, and it came quite close to the vehicle.
I can see that. I'm looking at an instant replay. Whoa, Nelly! Ah! And this is hilarious. The ROV is moving around, trying to get good imagery of the shark, and the shark's going, yeah, I'm going to kill you. You're in my territory.
We didn't see the view from Sirius when we were looking at it.
This is fabulous.
It's almost better than D2's shot.
I sure hope that the videographers clip this out and put it up on the web for you folks to look at. This is wonderful. Sharks are very territorial, and they. I've been in submersibles, and I've also worked a lot with ROVs, and they will be very assertive.
We're supposed to go in.
We use that term. I'm a dog person, and if a dog is, kind of, hey, this is my yard, we don't call him aggressive. We call him assertive. That is, unless he really is aggressive. And I don't have an aggressive dog.
Extend out a bit. Make sure we're heading in a good direction and then get a ship move in.
Yeah, let me stretch out about 20 or 25 meters.
Sure.
Don't let me get out to the end of the tether.
Yep.
And,
So we've decided that as we have Octopus Fridays, we now have Shark Saturday.
Shark Saturdays. All right.
Watch lead, this is Pilot.
Go ahead, Pilot. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pilot.
So as you've noticed, there's been a scrambling of people up here, and we have 4 different people in the front row now. This is your afternoon watch.
Thank you very much. It'd be wonderful if our front row group would introduce themselves, maybe starting with our navigator.
Go ahead, Levi.
Afternoon watch. We have me, Levi Unima, with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration as your chief navigator. To my right is our pilot, Jeff Williams. And we have a Dan Rogers as our co-pilot.
We also have Tara on video, if you want to introduce her as well. Or
Tara Smithy.
Are you talking on OKEX, by the way?
No, I wasn't.
You should be.
I'm on XRV.
We're getting our switches appropriately positioned out here so we can talk to one another.
So maybe we should get a move underway here.
Yeah.
Underway.
Thanks, co-pilot.
And we have our video
Okay, Nav.
monitoring.
Let's go ahead and do 220. Let's start with 20 meters and we can extend it.
Sounds good. I'll call it in. Bridge, RV nav.
Can you come down a little with me, Dan?
come down
yeah,
a
we're ready
bit.
for another
Yes.
ship move.
Okay.
20 meters, bearing 220 degrees.
Just looks like it slopes up to the left.
Decimal
Right.
So it looks like we're right up along the crest.
We are, and off to the right-hand side of the screen, there's a really steep drop-off.
Falling off slightly to the right side here.
We are a little bit east of the center of the ridge.
Yeah, high pack. I mean, not sure how.
Have we been able to get an estimate about how wide across this ridge is?
The ridge, you know, just looking at the Sirius image, it's looked to me as if it is
so it looks like it extends off
to 3
you're
times
looking now, but high pack
the width
like
of the ROV. In other words, it is a pretty narrow ridge.
Yeah.
And then you don't, you know, looking at Sirius image, you see really just darkness on the
we're only moving
sides
20 meters, so we'll get out
as the ridge just falls away.
So what could have caused something like that?
Well, actually, a lot of volcanoes are deformed in such a way as to produce cracks that radiate out basically from the center of the edifice, and these are avenues then for magma to move out underground into those cracks and form what are called dikes. These are igneous intrusive bodies. In other words, the magma intrudes into the surrounding material and forms like a vertical wall, but underground. And sometimes these vertical features, these dikes, are exposed on the seafloor like this as radiating ridges that extend from the main edifice. So I am guessing that this is a dike feature that we are traveling along, but it may also be an area where eruptions have taken place in the past along that, basically that line of weakness in the crust.
Hey Nav, could you extend the sonar on Sirius?
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating.
80 meters?
Yeah, let's go with 80.
It's a good place to go to get fresh rocks. And we got one earlier. Yeah.
So what do you mean when you say fresh rocks?
When I say fresh, I mean erupted not too long ago and not altered chemically by interaction with hot magmatic fluids or so forth. We want to try to characterize the composition of the magmas that are feeding these volcanoes with rocks that are the best representatives of the composition of that magma. And actually, the best representative of all is the glass that is quickly cooled on the surface of an undersea lava flow as it is erupted. Because the water is so cold, it basically freezes the outside of the lava, and it forms a glassy rim.
Watch lead, could we make a generalization about the direction of the current flow based on the direction that all of these polyps have grown?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say the answer is yes. Most of the sponges that we'd seen on leg 1 were oriented into the oncoming current. So if these guys are holding their polyps facing toward, let's see, relative to the vehicle, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that...
How much left in that move, Nev?
Yeah, that it's upslope.
Yep.
Yeah,
and if that's true, then the currents will be coming downslope.
Yeah, I think the ridge is going to be...
Shark just swam by again. Full wide, please.
Shark is back?
I just saw it go by on Sirius view.
Ha.
What do I need to do again?
So,
well, it looks like...
Patty, from what you were saying before, too, geologists have a
Closer
different
to on top of the
description
ridge
of
than I am right
young
now.
or not too
If
old.
you wanna push
That is
out,
correct. By young, I
look to your
would.
starboard.
Let's see. Depends on whether or not the rock is sitting
Get
in,
another
you know,
move
a
dialed in.
pool
So,
of
yeah,
hot
pointing the direction here.
hydrothermal
move was
water.
220.
Because then
Yep.
they
Degrees.
will alter very quickly. They can alter within, you know, months to a
It's kinda
year of
brought me
their
off the ridge
eruption.
here.
But if they're a little further away from the hot spots on a volcano,
We'll
they
let,
can remain fresh
Jeff
for
take a look.
quite a long time, years, decades,
Wow.
millennia.
I fly along kind of neutrally buoyant, and then suddenly I'm just
And I see a
pushed down.
fish to the right of that largest
Take
white
a quick zoom there, Mr. Tara. I'm not gonna show it really.
sponge. It's a little red fish.
Oh.
Is that one of the bottom fish?
No, it looks like it's got a little different tail than the
Yeah, it
other
does,
one.
does have a different tail. You're right.
Do we have any of our fish experts on the line that might be able to help us
Yeah,
identify
Levi,
this?
let's do looking at maybe a
Tina noticed
180
it too.
Straight south.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait to call it in until he
Yeah, we want to wait, but
until he turns towards where we were going.
yep.
Yeah, so this is probably a barracks. It's an Alfonsino, I think, and you can tell
That'll
because
bring
it's
us
swimming with this ectrophin.
closer to the ridge and more the direction.
Thank
of our,
you.
Dan, do you see the shimmering in the water? It's
And
there's
is
a
that one of the
lot
fish
water.
that we
There's
were
a lot of
targeting
current
today
going
with
by.
looking for
Water going
bottom
by,
fish?
yeah.
You see that? Okay, Tara, full wide, please. Thank you.
Of course. Boy.
So right now I'm facing 180, and you can see it's
No,
see the ridge going up here.
Fish. It's actually
Starboard
gonna
side
be
there.
brown fish, a deeper fish in some places in the world.
Okay. Thank you.
Does it look like it's going even more toward the southeast? It's a little hard to tell.
I've been going down this little finger here,
Yeah.
and I expected to go down the finger and suddenly find it going back uphill again, but that's not at all what happened.
Yeah, we might not quite be in the end of that depression there. Why don't I just go 20 meters toward you again?
Well, because we might be working our way down the hill here.
Yeah.
Let me just take a moment and swing my head all the way around to the right. And just have a little look-see.
Your sonar is at 30-meter range right now.
Nope.
Our ROV pilot is just changing the position of the ship, the azimuth of the ship, and the ROV, that is, and looking for,
Doesn't it seem like I
just to
should
make
push
sure
up
the
this?
ridge.
This is what you're coming down, right, Dan?
The ridge on this ridge right here?
Yeah. Or is this what I just?
I
This is
think
what I just came down.
This is what you just came down.
this is,
Okay.
yep, definitely what you just came down.
So you were up
Yeah.
further up on top there.
Okay. So back up. And where are you moving right now? Is the ship moving?
The ship is stopped, so this is all you, except maybe a little bit of current push.
So do we want to try the
I mean, we
hop
could-
maneuver, or
Well, I don't want to lose sight of the bottom. I don't feel good about that.
yeah?
But it just seems odd that we're kind of going to the southeast here.
Yeah,
Well, let's continue. I mean,
I think. Yeah, oh, coming up.
the last thing I want to do is end up, getting
Yeah,
down
sure.
off
Sure.
the main feature. but it wouldn't be so bad. If we got down off the main fissure, we'd just come back up it again.
Well, we've got favorable tether push on this side. I mean, we could just saddle along the side of the ridge, on this side of the ridge, and then go 20-meter hops. You can extend out, look around to your starboard, you know, see if we can see an uphill slope.
Okay, that sounds good.
So we could, I think 180 to start with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yep, sounds good.
20 meters, 180.
Okay, I'll call it in.
And let me come down a bit here.
Bridge, RV nav. Ready for another ship move. 20 meters, bearing 180, 0.2 knots.
Yeah, because even though I'm pointed southeast, I'm actually moving south.
Yep.
My movements are to the south.
Right.
South is good, pilot. Thanks.
Oh, you're pulling me now.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, just hang
Thank
out
you,
there.
Bridge.
Or maybe come back a bit.
Yep. Did you just see the rock box close? I did.
The rock box. Was
Yeah.
the lid open slightly?
Yeah.
Oh.
Probably got blown open by the current.
Watch lead nav.
Go ahead, watch lead.
Can you tell me how far away we are from the next waypoint, please?
We're about 660 meters from waypoint 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
still pulling you.
So we have about
I'm down a bit.
660 meters to go. So we need to, about 4 hours. Yeah, not even. 3.5 maybe.
I can't go anywhere yet.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the move now.
So still seeing the, in terms of the,
What do you
the
say we just keep this move down
diversity,
another
still
20 meters on
seeing
top?
the
Okay.
Does that feel good to you?
stoloniferous, octocorals
Yeah.
and the more massive demo sponges.
Can we zoom out on head back just a
Some, quite a few dead, branches from dead corals. And I'm not seeing this in the image right now, but we were seeing some live stony corals.
What kind of corals?
Stony.
Stony. Thank
Stony.
you.
bit? All right, yeah, I'm feeling the move.
Hard corals.
Hard corals.
Thank you. Lots of sponges for you.
Yeah, big massive sponges. This is this type of sponges is fairly common in deeper waters.
All right.
Okay.
So
They're
this is
armored. They have lots of siliceous spicules in them, so they can be very rigid and firm. Of course, that could work to their disadvantage if they just have a narrow base of attachment, because then they could be pulled off if there were very, very strong currents. Of course, we don't know how old these sponges are. It's very difficult to get an age, almost impossible to get an age on the sponges.
So there's no sort of general amount of growth per year or anything that you can use?
Nope.
Wow. So that presumably relies entirely on how
Dan,
much
what
they
I'm
have to
feeling
eat?
is when I'm up here
Possibly.
on the ridge,
Yeah.
just flying along, not using my verts very much at all. If I allow myself to go down off the ridge at all, I suddenly get pushed down really hard.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So I'm just
Watch lead
staying
nav.
nice and high to make sure the tether doesn't get caught on anything there.
Go ahead, watch lead.
So we're proceeding along that the transect now. We're moving pretty far along that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just going to keep trying to find and stay on this ridge and then work our way back up.
Okay, roger that.
So yeah.
Nav, an additional question.
Yeah,
Can you tell us about how far
I think I agree with you.
from the beginning we are relative to the end?
Yeah, just 1 minute.
Sure.
I can calculate that.
Probably a couple hundred.
See, that's kind of moving off down. You're right. Further south and east.
Right. Well, I can go direct. We could just go directly towards the waypoint and see what we find, rather than trying to maintain contact.
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
come up and
Yeah, that sounds good to me
put in
too.
a ship to try to
For
find the ridge
for
again.
those of you who are watching and maybe
Well, I'd like to
watched
stay in contact with
the
bottom, but not
the dive
necessarily with
yesterday,
this little ridge.
Okay, so you want
the
to
ridge that we're diving on
look at
today
high pack,
is
find our
so
bearing,
much
Yes.
and just
more
follow the bottom.
diverse
Yes.
in terms
Okay.
of
If you just
morphology.
plot
It's kind of
track
hard for the
for,
pilots to stay right on the track because we have so much
plot
relief,
the
so
track
so
for
many
Sirius to go straight to the waypoint,
little
and
mounds
you'll
and
just
depressions.
follow it.
Okay. All right, Nav, did you catch that? So you want to come back, let's see here.
What's the bearing on that move you want?
Well, what does high pack say is our intended direction?
You're looking at 220. That's where
Yeah.
waypoint 2 is.
Yeah,
220.
well, why don't you come to your starboard, Jeff?
I'll zoom in.
You're way off on my port side.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it looks like we can see the entire ridge in our field of view with the ROV, and it is very narrow.
Watch
Yeah,
the
watch your
nav.
tail in there.
Watch lead is nav.
Now I am pointed
Yes,
pretty
Nav.
much in the direction.
This is the watch lead.
Just letting you know, we're about 25%
But
from waypoint 1 to waypoint 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm coming up a bit here to.
Okay, folks,
Okay,
we're
so
about
so we're gonna have to pick up the rate
up
of move
speed.
and pick
Yep.
up speed.
so about a quarter of the way along the track.
So I'm bringing my heading around. I'm coming up.
am I behind you, Dan?
You're a bit. You want to push ahead?
Okay. We're going to push ahead. We're going to lose contact with the floor when we get back in contact.
Yep. We'll come
Okay.
back down. Yep.
All right.
I think that's the way to do it.
All right. Pushing ahead. I'm pushing ahead at 200.
Okay. You want me to range out your sonar?
On D2 might be a good idea. Yeah.
What's it at right now?
30,
Yeah. Push me at 50, thanks.
50.
There'll be an operations meeting held in the forward lounge in 5 minutes. Say again, ops meeting forward lounge, 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's the direction that high pack. So
All right.
So for those of
Coming down
you
a bit, and
watching
then
this
you can,
video
Now,
push out a bit.
do we have a shipment in
from
progress?
Let's
Exploration
get one in.
Command Center or from your home,
So 220.
reason that you're not seeing any bottom here is
How
that
many meters
we're
do you guys want to
moving
move?
from
Speed
one
30-meter hop.
mound
Got it.
to another rather than going
Got it.
down slope and then across an upslope.
Bridge,
This is the
are
way
we
we
now?
operate. We're moving to the next next mound,
ready
next
for another
ridge.
ship move, 30 meters,
And
bearing
get
220
pushed up to my starboard
degrees,
side.
I am
0.2
hard-
knots.
Hard to port right
Hard to
now.
port. Ah, I see.
Yeah, I know.
do a little midwater transect here.
Yeah, we are.
Not expecting
A midwater transect.
So let's hope that those folks who propose mid-water transects in this area or others are sitting in front of their screens, because here we go. This is for you. Midwater transects are scheduled for this cruise, and what's going to happen is that mainly as we leave the bottom, what some scientists want to do is try to get an inventory of animals in the water column. And we will be doing transects at a given depth in the water column as the ROV rises to investigate, what jellies or fish or, whatever is in the water column at those depths. And that actually is one of the coolest things that you get to do when you dive in a submersible, a manned submersible.
Yeah.
The pilots turn all the lights out as you're descending. And as you go down, occasionally you'll see these
our tether's streaming pretty far
incredibly
starboard, so
beautiful
keep an eye on the
jellies
sonar,
that
make sure
just
there's
float
nothing,
by
no
the
features on
screen,
right
and
side.
they have cilia, or little eggs around the sides of their bodies that propel them through the water. And at every movement of these, there's bioluminescence that shoots along these little legs, and so it looks like a little firework display as they're moving through the water. It's incredibly beautiful.
And for those of you who may have been watching yesterday, we saw a comb jelly called a ctenophore, and it was bioluminescent as well. And that we could see that bioluminescence when they were moving their cilia to move across, to maintain position or swim in the midwater.
So here on the ship, Shirley and I have
off of that ridge and
a quad screen, or a screen that is split into four images, and one of these images is sonar that is sent out from the vehicle. So as the sound pulse is emitted from the vehicle, it bounces back and gives us a sense of the height or the hardness of something that may be within the vicinity of the vehicle. And so what I'm seeing right now is to the south-southwest of the position of the vehicle, there are some very bright returns. So we are headed toward the bottom again in that direction.
Off to my left. The Titan is glitching. If somebody could bring up the HD version of the Titan. Okay, Dan, I'm way down below you right now.
Yeah, I'm coming down.
We should still have a ship move in, or did they stop?
I think it's still moving.
Ship's still moving.
Thanks. Okay, got a seat floor here.
So you're getting a nice view from the Sirius down to D2.
Analog has some flickers. Digital's holding steady.
You're seeing the analog flicker now?
Yeah, I commandeered one of your manip cams there.
Okay.
We have a readout here on the ship that shows that we are 5 meters off the seafloor. Now it's...
Is that right, or is it that?
Yeah, do you want to push out ahead? I'm concerned about coming down too much with the tether blowing.
Okay.
But no, there's the bottom.
Potentially uphill.
Yeah. Right. So right now we're 3 meters off, and we're beginning to see the bottom. Yep.
Yeah, digital signals holding analog. I'll probably bring it back to your manip cam for you.
If you're looking at the ROV screen, the D2 screen, you can see the laser pointers streams making a converging pair of red lights.
Oh, you got some returns on sonar now. That's good. All right. Why don't you find out which direction that is, and we'll get another ship move in.
Okay.
So Mary Jo
So that is
Brown's wrote that the water view allows us all to appreciate our planet. It's as unique as far as we know in its abundance of liquid surface water.
I know you're hard on your lats. Can you come back to center?
And what really strikes me is as we're planning these dives and we plan out a transect that might be 800 meters or so, in distance to cover, it's just a small speck of all of the real estate that has yet to be discovered, has yet to be explored.
Yeah,
Boy, that's true, Shirley.
Don't worry about that right now.
People think about, how big the oceans
well, if we move
are.
190, you're going to need to come
And
back
yet, we
to
know
the center of my view.
less about what's
Oh,
on the floor of the ocean than we do
on the surface of the
on
moon.
the surface of the moon
Yeah.
or
even
Mars
Mars.
or Venus.
Yeah.
Venus is covered with clouds.
30 meters?
But there is radar data
Yep.
from the surface of Venus that shows, a
Bridge, are we
lot
now?
of the surface of that planet. And yet here we are.
Ready for another ship move. 30 meters, bearing 190 degrees, 0.2 knots.
Slowly making your way over.
So we can see on the
I'm
sonar
going to bring my heading around to 190.
quite a lot of returns in the southwest portion of a circular swath that the sonar is sweeping
Looks like you're moving
through.
backwards, huh?
So that's
Okay.
the direction we're headed in, and we'll be getting a bit closer to the bottom soon. We're now at 4.5 meters above
And
the seafloor.
You can see all those white specks.
Yeah, those got to be
Probably-
sponges.
Probably sponges.
Shirley's in sponge
I
heaven.
know.
I'm trying to find Manipcam down here.
Actually, put that back up. It's like a tropical island. Oh, wait, it is a tropical island. That's great.
Little deck cam view.
I wish I was there. Oh, I am.
Okay, Jeff, do you want to
Thank
push
you,
out
Bridge.
ahead?
Yep, pushing out ahead.
Yeah, and you can
5.3 meters off the bottom. We're getting there. We're getting there.
you can range down on Sirius sonar nav.
The depth
50
of the
meters.
vehicle right now is 390 meters, 390 meters. And coming into view. Now this is really flat.
Yes.
Look at that. Completely different from the previous terrain. And far fewer sponges. Obviously, sponges like rocks as much as I do. In fact, you know what? I don't think these are sponges. Look at those. They've got branches.
Yep.
They're not sponges.
Nope.
Oh, looky. There's another one of those anemones.
All right, we're looking good, Jeff.
Anemones.
All right.
Oh, so yep.
So I'm
There.
on the move.
Pom
Yeah, a
and,
pom-pom
you
anemone.
got some time to look at some
In
stuff
fact,
if you
We
want.
now have the third, so we'll
Yeah,
each
but
have a set of two.
there's a fourth look at the upper part, just
Oh, yeah,
as the
yeah,
light's dimming.
exactly.
These guys like this place.
Cool pilot, isn't Nav?
Go ahead now.
Having trouble finding the Manipcam
Should
on
be
my
called
screen selector.
Port MNP or STB
Have we seen one of
MNP.
these on our...
Might not be on your router.
I know.
Yeah,
Okay, so
pilot,
we've
if-
seen a feather,
Oh, you want to?
This-
feather star. Yeah,
Well,
let's
that's
Is this a
monitor.
crinoid.
crinoid?
Yeah,
Which
let's go
monitor
on.
is that? What number is that?
Watch lead pilot.
We just added that key.
Yeah, go ahead, watch Lee.
So I don't know
Yep,
if it has
you
a number.
can. I think you're heading towards it already. It's that.
The stalked
Yep,
fella?
the
We
stalked.
made
Yep.
adjustments last, rolling
Yep.
adjustments
It's
last night.
sea lily, feather star.
Yeah, let's...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Tara.
Yes.
Can
So
you
what's the
change
difference between a
that
feather star
that
and a
left
crinoid?
monitor
They're the
below
same.
the clock
They are the
to
same.
the starboard
It's a
manipulator
pseudonym.
camera?
Yeah, stand by. I'll have to look it up.
Well, crinoid is based off of the on the scientific name, but sea star, or sorry, a feather star or sea lily is more of a common name. Now this looks kind of weird to me. Wow.
Man,
And it looks like, you know, one would think that these are firmly attached and they can't move, but they can actually move along the bottom.
I have seen crinoids jump off a rock and swim away in the water.
Have you
Yes.
stalked ones like this?
Yeah, they had stalks, and this was up
All right, pilot, I'm going to ramp up
in
hydraulics.
the
Probably
Izu
test
Island
something.
Arc, in the back Arc basin
Yeah,
in
we
the
wanna
deep
keep that move
seafloor
going, so just let me know.
to the west of the
Yeah, you got
island
10
Arc.
meters left in the move, not
Okay,
even.
copy.
It's got a brittle star clinging
It
to
does,
some
it
of
has a
those
brittle star.
Right over the top of your
those
jet.
appendages on the stalk.
Okay.
Boy, I've never seen a stalk that has that many appendages. Why
It
does
is
it
very,
need
it's very
that?
It is very interesting, and the fact that the top part is brownish as opposed to kind of a cream color also looks kind of interesting to me. There was some small crustacean on the stalk as well.
And then full line.
Full way.
Yep, let's
Thank
push
you.
out ahead.
Lovely. Coming up. Pushing out.
So if this guy could crawl along the seafloor, are those appendages that extend from the stalk something that it could kind of lay down
Yes,
and
so
then
you
kind
can
of
see they have kind of like those arms.
like a millipede crawl across the seafloor
Yeah, although we
with all
don't
those
usually
arms?
see it laid out horizontally. It still stays kind of
Did you do
vertical.
the daisy chain?
Okay.
Moves along.
Okay.
You see how taut the daisy chain is in that image right there?
Yeah.
Needs to
Diva
have a little
Aman,
slack,
who was
so
biology
whoever
science
did
lead
last
on
was
leg
right
one, says that
Mention
this
Oh,
sea
The crinoid?
yes, I'm like momentary.
Hey, I got it. You
Yeah,
didn't.
crinoid, the stalked crinoid, similar to one that she saw on the last dive of leg one.
Yeah, Diva was the biology lead scientist on the last diving lake.
Right, so
for
she's
this.
joining us from the
University of Hawaii.
And
She's
the
in our
others, right?
oceanography department.
And the other
Ship is in
science
position,
lead
pilots.
was Deb Glixon, and she's in Florida at Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, Florida.
Where Shirley comes from.
Where I am, yep.
Yeah, so.
Yep. Deb and I work together.
Another 20-meter move.
Yeah, I think 190.
And Diva and I are in two buildings that are very close to one another on UH campus. Now there's another critter right in the center of the screen there, and that looks like an anemone. Looks like the anemone we saw a little lower down.
that's
Not
interesting.
really.
I
It
don't
looks a
know.
little different.
All right, Levi.
Yeah, ready to call it in.
There's
Yeah.
quite a
Sorry.
current that is giving our pilots a bit of a challenge
190.
as they try to
190.
position the vehicle so that
Bridge RV
the
now.
videographer can get a zoom in on
Ready
these
for another
things.
ship move. 20 meters, bearing 190, 0.2 knots.
Okay, Tara. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
No, of course.
For anybody who's popping into this dive kind of late in the game here, we're streaming live from the Okeanos Explorer, the NOAA's Ocean Exploration and Research group, and we are diving on a ridge that's extending from the northeast flank of the island of Pagan in the Mariana Island Arc in the Western Pacific.
So, Patty, these rocks look different. They're
They
more
do.
of a rust color.
What these rocks look like to me is what we call scoria. Scoria is the type of projectile material that is burped out of a volcano as it is erupting. Usually in the earliest phases of an eruption, you get a lot of very gassy magma that is thrown out high into the air and then falls in the periphery of the vent.
So do you think this could be from the eruption in the 1980s?
I think that's exactly what I'm thinking, Shirley. Yeah. This looks just like the sort of thing you see on Kilauea, on the big island of Hawaii,
Say the word.
Hawaii
maybe
Island.
Yeah, thank you. Full one.
Up at the active volcano.
Up
Your
and away.
full, you don't want a sample of that, do you? Or do you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we got to make tracks.
Yeah, we need to make tracks.
Tracking.
Thank you.
If scoria is here, it is going to be even more voluminous
So are
closer
you
to the
facing into the
volcano.
current now?
No,
Or is
current's
it-
still coming left to right.
Left or right?
So I just learned a
7
new
to the
word
west.
from Patty and then Mary Jo. Scoriaceous. Is that like what's that called? Expialidocious? No. Scoriaceous. Result of lava and shallow water interaction.
Going uphill.
Scoria is the noun. Scoriaceous is
Scoriaceous.
the adjective.
Yes.
All right. Get our grammar right here.
How much left in the move, Nev?
Scoria.
You're looking at
I'm looking
Ship's
for
gone
fish.
13 of
I want
20
to see a
meters, 7
fish.
meters
We
left.
have plenty of scoria. Oh, sorry, Deb. Sorry, any of
Yeah,
you geologists listening
Yeah,
in.
because Mary Jo says that we also see this type,
Can you,
these types of rocks in
back to center?
Iceland.
Serious?
Yeah, right.
As, at the Lucky Fissure.
Lucky Fisher, sure.
And that was from the a volcano in the late 1700s, 1784.
Pilot, I can bring your sonar back in
Oh
if you
my
want.
goodness! Look at all of the rocks
yes,
just mantling the slope of this ridge right at the top of the screen. Woohoo!
So we see
Range
another
30
sea
meters on your
lily or
sonar.
Thank you.
feather star over on the right-hand side of the screen. Oh, what's that yellow?
Ooh, there's a nice sample.
Are you talking about that big boulder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go grab that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, pilot, forget it. I didn't mean that. I didn't.
Flush with success from the anemone
Uh-huh.
retrieval. They now
Uh-huh.
know no bounds.
There are a lot more of those
Yeah.
feather stars, crinoids, squat lobster coming into view. I'm getting some practice here naming bio things. We got little white corals. They have
Looks
a
like ship is just
green coral we just
arriving
passed
to
over.
position.
Yeah, we want the starboard. We want the other.
Oh, yeah.
Man, look at the rocks.
Tara, we've got both.
Now these
monitors on the
pieces
same
obviously
manipulator.
are bigger, but they have more or less the same
port monitor
color.
should actually
They
have the starboard
have
unit.
similar texture, and these might be larger fragments of
really?
what we call
Okay.
volcaniclastics. In other
Depends if you
words,
want what you're looking at.
volcano
what you're looking
meaning
from.
volcano, of
monitor
course.
on the left.
Clastic
Yeah.
meaning
The
basically
other-
broken out. So again, this
Technically, that
may be
monitor is
material that was
relative to the ship.
blasted out of the Pagan volcano.
So that ship move is complete, right?
There it is.
While I
move
was
complete,
gone,
pilots.
did you get close-ups of
Thank
those
you,
white
yes, thank you,
branches?
Roland.
Ship is in position, yeah.
Okay.
No, not that I recall.
What,
I'm just transfixed by the rocks. Aren't they pretty?
They are.
Maybe
They're
190?
beautiful.
She's
Yeah.
lying.
Well,
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, 190 sounds fine.
Waypoint
She likes them because they have
2
critters
is
on
at
them.
220.
Okay.
I like them because I'm
so-
thinking,
There,
wow,
yeah, let's do
man,
that. That'll bring you closer to D2.
I told people who
220?
tuned in early
we'll do
that
190.
I made a trip
190.
to this volcano
Yeah,
in
but 20 or
1981,
30
a few
meters.
months after it erupted, a
230.
huge
Got
blast.
nice and tracks.
And I'm thinking
All right.
we got stuck
Bridge,
on the
are we
island
now?
because the plane ran out of gas because the guys who had
Ready for another ship move. 30
had ordered
meters,
it
bearing
and
190
chartered
degrees,
it
0
wanted to
decimal 2
fly
knots.
around, take a whole bunch of pictures, so we didn't have enough gas
You
to
wanna
get back
hang out
home,
here
and
for
somebody
a
else
bit
had to
till we
fly
get
more
moving?
gas up to us. But I slept on a picnic table overnight down by the shore and was interested in collecting some of the little cinders that were falling on me during the night. So I spread out some paper towels I had brought, and they were cool enough they didn't burn through. But if any of this stuff had landed on me, I'd have been under that
Squished.
picnic table.
You'd have been squished.
I'd have been
would have been
really
squished.
scared.
He's not coming
I think I'd have gone down and found that cave that the people who were living on the island during the eruption went and took refuge in. Yeah, okay, guys, I'm going to sleep in the cave.
So if we haven't gotten a video of the white branching corals, I'd appreciate it if we could get closer and get some video of that, please.
Sure.
We're looking good. I'm coming right toward you, so you got plenty of time.
Go in and see what we can get right